Hi, good morning. Thank you for joining us in this first live meeting of ALADYR 2025. We will begin in about 4 minutes. Hi, good morning, everyone. Let's start. First of all, my name is Gundi Garcia. I'm the Marketing and Communication Assistant here in ALADYR. And today we are launching this cycle of live meetings of ALADYR where we will have different members, companies, and allies. On this occasion, we have Elizabeth Guyman from XPRIZE, who will explain the basis of the XPRIZE Water Scarcity Contest, designed to increase widespread access to clean water through the creation of reliable, sustainable, and affordable seawater desalination systems. Okay, so you can leave your questions and comments for Elizabeth in the LinkedIn chat. After Elizabeth finishes her explanation, we will open the Q&A session to address all your concerns. Okay, guys? So okay, we also want to let you know that we're going to record this webinar so you can review it later on, okay? It will be available on our YouTube channel, okay? So now, Elizabeth, welcome and thank you for your participation.
All right. Thank you so much to the ALADYR team for hosting me today. Really excited to chat with you today about the XPRIZE Water Scarcity. So some of you may already be familiar with XPRIZE, but for those of you that are not, I did want to just quickly talk about what XPRIZE does overall across all of our prizes. So we are a global foundation. We've been around for 30 years, and we just celebrated our 30th birthday just a few months ago. Across all of our prizes, the goal is to accelerate an equitable and abundant future. We do this by setting what we call grand challenges across key areas affecting the world in a variety of different topics, typically related to climate change. You can find all of our upcoming competitions on our website. So across all of our different prizes, the structure is the same. So we set difficult yet achievable technical goals, and then we crowdsource and look for the best technology available globally to scale those solutions through these multi-year competitions. And we also look to build communities in partner ecosystems like ALADYR so that we can connect with entrepreneurs and researchers worldwide. So as I mentioned, XPRIZE has been around for 30 years. In that time, we have launched 30 prizes. We have awarded a prize purse of $158 million. For this competition, the prize purse alone for this prize is $119 million. So it is the largest prize we've ever done. It's the largest prize in the history of water and also the largest public prize in any field ever. We do have 5 other active prizes. So if you are interested in learning more about our different grand challenge areas, I encourage you to check out our website. So this prize we'll be talking about today is in food, water, and waste, but these are all of our different grand challenge areas. So all of our sponsors are different across the different prizes. For transparency purposes, we like to discuss who the sponsor is for all the different prizes. So the sponsor for this prize is the Mohammed bin Zayed Water Initiative. It is a not-for-profit based out of the UAE. They are also doing some very cool things in water, so I encourage you to check out their website if you're interested in learning more. So we operate the prize independently of the sponsor, but of course it would not be possible without their generous donation. So we say thank you to them for making this possible. So let's now talk about XPRIZE Water Scarcity. So we are incredibly privileged to have an advisory board of professionals in the water industry from a variety of different disciplines. They advised us during the design of the process. So they helped us, for example, set technical milestones that were intentionally difficult, yet hopefully achievable by teams within the 5-year competition timeline. Some of you on this call probably recognize some of these names. They advise us not only through the design of the prize, but also, which partners we should reach out to, and have helped facilitate connections to organizations like ALADYR. We are also incredibly fortunate to have an absolutely amazing judging panel. So the judging panel, it was important that we represent a variety of different types of expertise in the desalination and novel methods and materials space. So you can see, again, I'm sure many of these names are familiar. We do have professionals on the independent judging panel from a variety of different universities and also private sector companies. We have a very strict ethical code when it comes to our judging panel. So the water industry is quite small. So the rule is if the judges know a team, they may not review that submission, and they must let us know and formally recuse themselves from reviewing that team submission. So if you're interested in learning more about who the judges are and that process, you can find all of that information on our website. So let's talk about water scarcity. So I'm sure those of you are already familiar with this on the call, but water stress does not discriminate. It affects every country globally. You can see, I really like this map because you just see it affects everyone regardless of where you live. Obviously, some regions are more water stressed than others, but this will impact everyone if it hasn't already. It's also getting worse. So it's getting worse for a variety of different reasons. People are consuming more water. There are more people on the planet. More people are also living in densely populated coastal areas. Global warming is also a factor, and then climate change as well. So there is an incredible opportunity for seawater desalination. So 40% of the global clean water needs by the year 2030 will be unmet. Currently, only 1% of clean water that is being produced is produced using desalination. And 71% of that desalinated water being produced in wealthy nations. So there's a real opportunity to innovate around desalination and unlock more of the ocean's supply for clean drinking water. So the historic problems have been with traditional desalination is it is unaffordable to low and middle resource countries. Advancements have been slow moving. Often the operations of desalination plants are complex and not sustainable necessarily. So that's why we designed this competition and launched it today in this time, because we're looking to revolutionize seawater desalination by making it more affordable, more sustainable, but not compromising on that reliability, which is also so critical. So we have two different ways to compete in the competition. The first way to compete is it's desalination system level innovation. So as I mentioned, it's a 5-year competition. By the end of the competition, the winning team will be the team that most reliably and sustainably generates 1,000 cubic meters a day from seawater at the lowest cost to ensure global accessibility. So don't worry if you're not at that production level yet. Teams will have a chance to ramp up. They don't need to be producing that amount right now. So the primary goals of the competition are to meet that flow and quality rate. Again, teams will ramp up to that production. They will need to meet World Health Organization standards for producing drinking water, potable quality. They will also need to think about the cost. So one of the primary goals of the competition is to really bring that cost down. And so we have a whole cost of water model that my technical colleague is working on and will be launching soon. But basically, teams should think about what is the projected cost for 3 to 5 years, capital cost, 1-year operating cost, and include all of that in their first submission for the competition. We also really want to make sure that the submissions are sustainable. So teams should be thinking about environmental responsibility, and then also ensuring, uptime and resilience. We also, because sustainability is such a huge focus for the competition, are really looking for teams to innovate around these key areas of sustainability when it comes to seawater desalination. So that includes things like a marine-friendly intake design, resource circularity and brine management, energy efficiency, and a minimal physical system footprint. So we actually have extra cash awards for the moonshot breakthroughs. So as I had mentioned, all of our XPRIZes are structured with different technical milestones. When teams achieve technical milestones at each stage of the competition, they win part of the prize purse. So we don't just wait till the end of the competition to give one grand prize. We actually distribute that funding at each stage, in part to help with teams doing that research and development. So it's different than a grant. That funding is not awarded up front, but it is awarded as teams win each stage of the competition. So for the desalination system level innovation, the first stage of the competition that will be evaluated by the independent judging panel is open right now. It is a written qualifying submission. So teams will submit a technical proposal. It's about 10 pages. Basically, what is your plan for the next 5 years when it comes to your technology and your business? We also just made a change to this round. You don't have to have a full desalination system ready. Let's say that you're a company or a research university that specializes in brine management. We actually are open at this stage of the competition for you to apply with your brine management solution. Or maybe you're an energy recovery specialist. That would be a partial system or a component system. We want you to apply. We want you to submit the technical proposal because we're going to be holding a series of team matchmaking events. So if you want to form a team consortium to compete for the subsequent rounds of the competition where you will need a full system, this is a great time to enter the competition. And you would even be eligible for the cash prize purse at this stage of the competition. So eventually teams will need that full system, but I do just want to highlight that that's a change we made in part because of feedback that we got from teams early on. So the next stage of the competition, which will be December of this year, for all teams that have passed the qualifying submission, it will be qualified team testing. So this will be the first round of physical testing. It will be teams producing 1 cubic meter a day over 2 weeks at 30% uptime. As you can see, a complete system is required at this stage. Teams can test at their chosen location, so wherever you want to test in the world, and you can use either real seawater or synthetic seawater. So then you'll just submit your documentation from this testing to the independent judging panel by December of 2025. All teams that are moving forward to finals, it will be up to 20 teams, will then ramp up to a system producing 100 cubic meters a day over a month at 50% uptime. Again, teams can test at their own location wherever they want in the world for this stage. And that will be 20 teams testing at that round. And they will have won the semifinals prize purse award. And then only 5 teams will be selected for the final round. That will be the finalist cash prize purse award. We will be announcing that centralized test site for the 5 finalist teams probably in 2026. So we're not really seeing that information yet, in part because we want to see what kind of testing needs that teams will have. So maybe we'll have a team with a deep sea intake, for example, that would help us understand where we need to pick for a finals test site. So this is what the timeline for the multi-year competition looks like. If you could direct your attention to this highlighted section, if you would like to compete in this track of the competition, please register, fully register, which means signing both documents, and there's a small registration fee by the end of March, because that's the last opportunity to join the competition before the physical testing and the qualifying submission. So don't miss this deadline, and then teams will have 1 more month to get in the written technical submission. We will be notifying teams privately if they're moving forward in the competition after the judges have reviewed their qualifying submission, and then we'll make a public announcement and start distributing the cash prize purse in June of this year. And then December is going to be that qualified team testing for that 1 cubic meter a day physical testing. Then semifinals will be in 2026, and finals testing will be a full year. You won't need to be on site for that whole time, but for those 5 finalist teams, we'll be releasing additional information closer to that final stage. And then we'll announce the grand winners in 2028. So here's what that prize purse breakdown looks like. So as teams move through each stage of the competition, they are unlocking funding for that round. So that first stage for the qualifying team submission, teams will receive an equal share of $3 million. If you are submitting a partial solution or a component solution, so if you're only submitting to the competition a brine management or energy recovery or marine-friendly intake, you will be awarded a half share if the judges pass your submission forward. And then for every subsequent round of testing, you will need to have a full desalination system to compete. We also have these extra Moonshot Sustainability Awards. So for teams that have that extra sustainable technology, which we really want to encourage innovation in that, there are going to be 4 teams at each stage who win $3 million each and $2 million each. So that's on top of the regular prize purse. So let's switch gears and talk about track B. And as a reminder, teams can participate in just one track or both tracks. So for track B, it's novel materials and methods for desalination. The winning team will demonstrate a novel material or method that sustainably and cost-effectively treats seawater to potable water quality. And this can be any saltwater separation technique with an operational lifetime of 10 years or more. So the idea here is that this technology would be a direct replacement for or an enhancement on existing SWRO membranes. So you can see on the left-hand side that the key criteria for success in this track are novelty and innovation, sustainability and cost effectiveness, and also quality, that durability, the operational lifetime, and then also scalability. So teams should be thinking about how their method or material integrates into desalination plants. You can see on the right-hand side some examples of what kind of technology and techniques we might expect to see in this track. But if you have something that is saltwater separation that's not on this list, we do encourage you to submit that. So it could be electrochemical and magnetic methods, novel RO, membrane separation, forward osmosis, advanced thermal, lots of different things that we could see in this track. So the track is structured similar to track A, where teams will progress through the different technical milestones. And the first submission is going to be that written technical submission that the judges will review. Then there's going to be team lab testing. So teams will submit it'll be a video submission showcasing their operational approach to the competition. Teams can test at their own location for this round. Then for semifinals, teams will be testing at a centralized site. So 30 teams will be selected for this round. And for track B, semifinals is when the cash awards kick in. So there's no cash award for qualified team testing, but there is starting at semifinals. And then 5 finalist teams will be selected, and they will do that submission of the materials and methods with a safety data sheet, cost analysis, and scalability plan. So the registration deadline for this track is the end of May, and teams have 1 more month to get that first written proposal in that the judges will evaluate. Qualified team testing for this track will also be happening in December 2025, semifinals in 2026, and then finals testing in 2027. This is the prize purse breakdown for track B. So same thing as teams move through the competition, beginning at semifinals, each team will receive $10,000. Finalists will receive $220,000 each. And then the top 3 winners will receive, multiple $1 million awards. So we'll just pause there and kind of recap what we have heard. So for track A, it's that system level innovation. We're now opening up to partial or component level solutions. So you don't have to have that full system to compete. You will need the full system by that first round of testing in December. But right now, if you only have a partial solution, enter the competition, network, and working with you. For track B, we have also recently opened it up to novel methods in addition to novel materials. And then we also extended the deadline for that track to May 31st. So I encourage you to do some reflecting. Which track fits your innovation? Is your innovation a partial or component level system, or is it a full system solution? And you can do both tracks or just one. So I do want to thank anyone on this call who may have already pre-registered for the competition or is considering pre-registering for the competition, because we can design the best competition in history, and I think we've designed a pretty great competition. But at the end of the day, if we don't have our teams competing, it will not be a success. So thank you in advance if you are considering being part of this. And teams are really the lifeblood of what we do here at XPRIZE. So thank you in advance. Over the 30 years at XPRIZE, we've had over 35,000 competitors globally, representing over 173 countries. We're open to all different types of teams, so that can be a single entity team or a multiple entity team that's a team consortium. It's your decision who's going to be a part of your team, and we don't put any restrictions on that. We just ask that you let us know who the team lead is, and we love seeing all the different types of backgrounds and subject matter expertise that our teams bring to the competition. That's what makes it so exciting, is people are coming from wildly different walks of life. So teams compete for a variety of different reasons: access to free technology validation, access to the testing sites, partner benefits as part of our prize community, media exposure. So at each of our milestones, we're going to have a big media moment with our teams and our partners like ALADYR, fundraising opportunities. So we're working with that are often looking for teams that are going to be the next big thing that they should be paying attention to. And then also people like being part of that community, everyone working together to address water scarcity. So we've talked a little bit about joining and becoming part of the competition, and that registered deadline for the end of March for Track A. So just wanted to discuss what that looks like. So if you go to our website and you create a team, which takes about 5 minutes, you will then be a pre-registered team. So you haven't signed the documents yet, but you have created a team profile with your name and email address. Make sure to become a fully registered team by the end of March for Track A or the end of May for Track B, because you must be fully registered in order to be eligible to actually start the competition. And at each stage, you'll be winning portions of this prize purse. So, log in to the prize operations platform and create your team. You can decide which track you want to compete in. Teams must own the rights to use the intellectual property and technologies that they're submitting to the competition. So if you are, leasing intellectual property from someone else, you need to make sure that you go through the proper legal process to address that before you enter the competition. And then we do recommend that you get started early, just so you can find out about events like this, matchmaking activities, and also just not waiting until the registration deadline to kind of ask any questions that you might have. So there is a small registration fee for both tracks. For Track A, it's $700. For Track B, it's $500. If you don't have to pay twice if you're doing both tracks, so just reach out to us if you have any concerns or questions about the registration fees, and happy to provide additional information. So once again, the end of March is kind of the key date that I want everyone to remember. Don't miss that. If you are interested in Track A, you can scan this QR code to go to our website and you can create a team profile. So this is our lovely operations team who's running the prize. Bunch of different ways to get involved in the competition: becoming or joining a team, obviously. You can collaborate or partner with other teams. You can reach out to us if you're interested in becoming a judge. You can just join our ecosystem more generally or become a prize partner, or tune into webinars and events like this. We have several in-person events coming up. We also have a very special, our first ever virtual matchmaking event. So if you are a team with a component level solution, I do encourage you to come to this next week and kind of meet and network virtually with other innovators globally. You can find all of our upcoming webinars on our website. We're going to be having drop-in office hours as we get close to that registration deadline, just in case you do have questions. And just a recap, so check your registration status if you've already created a team. Register by the end of March, and then you can submit any questions to our public email, which goes to me right here, and you can scan this QR code to get involved. Okay, thank you so much. I will pass the mic back to our hosts, and thank you so much for your attention.
Okay, thank you very much, Elizabeth. So let's see if we have any questions. Now is the time for you to make any question or doubt to Elizabeth. So let's wait a little bit just to see if we got any questions. Meanwhile, Elizabeth, can I ask you so far, do we have any team from Latin America running in the prize?
We do have a few. However, there's so much desalination activity and novel materials and membranes activity in Latin America that I don't think is yet represented in the competition. So we do have a handful of teams, but we would really love to see many more, and even as part of team consortiums, maybe with other teams from all across the world.
I see. No, definitely. We have good material here in Latin America. I know we should have good teams coming up from this part of the world. Okay. This is the very first contest, or previously we have another one?
This is the first water scarcity competition. We did previously have one water prize that was called the Water Abundance Prize, but it was a very different type of technology. So we hope to do future prizes in water, but this is the only time that we're doing the XPRIZE Water Scarcity. So it's not going to be an annual thing. This is the only chance to get involved.
Oh, okay. The question is because I was wondering if in the previous context we have any team from Latin America winning the prize in other contests.
Definitely, yes. So we've had, we just wrapped up an XPRIZE Rainforest Prize, which is obviously a very different type of competition, but the winning team had members of the team from Latin and Central America.
Great, awesome. Yeah. Okay, let's see.
And also, if people are feeling shy and they don't want to ask questions right now, please feel free to email our public inbox if you think of a question later.
Good one, yes. Not everyone is open to question right now. And so far, where is the region where you guys have the most people interested or participating in this contest so far?
Yeah, great question. So it's mostly the US and the Middle East. I think XPRIZE, a lot of people are familiar with XPRIZE in the US. And so that's why we're doing some partner webinars and events with organizations like ALADYR to really get the message out there. And then our sponsor for the prize is in the Middle East. So I think a lot of people have heard about us in that region as well.
Thank you. Okay, good to know that. Okay, let's see. Yeah, people are really shy today.
I know that was a lot of information to go through. So if you are interested in learning more, happy to share that presentation. And we also have our website where you can read all about the competition guidelines and ways to get involved.
Yeah, definitely. It's good to know that you can review this StreamYard, okay, in our website or in our YouTube channel as well, and you can go to the XPRIZE website, right?
Yeah.
You can find all the information right there. Okay, I have another question. What about for the winner of the big prize? is there any other recognition or another benefit?
Well, we hope that for this prize, especially the grand prize, which I think is $40 million, is going to be a good reward. But I would say definitely there's a lot of media exposure. What we have heard from teams who have participated in other X Prizes is by going through the competition, they're making connections with partner organizations, venture capital firms, government funding. And so that journey through the multi-year competition, they're actually building a go-to-market mechanism and pathway. So I think for this prize, one thing that we hope to do is bring in, utilities and have the end customers part of that conversation, networking with teams early on in the competition, so that by the time the competition's over and those solutions are in a commercial stage, or at least pre-commercialization, we've already brought those players into the conversation and they're ready and excited, and they know the teams and they have those relationships already. So that's what I hope for this competition, and we've definitely heard that for other competitions as well, that the winners, they don't just get to the finish line and then no one's heard of them. They've actually been building this community over multiple years through all the different milestones that they had to achieve, and then they did achieve through the competition.
Awesome. Thank you for that information, Elizabeth. Okay, so well, so far nobody else is going to ask. So once again, please, if you have any doubts or any questions, you can go to the XPRIZE website, or you can reach out to us, and definitely we are going to make the bridge with XPRIZE team, and we can give you all the information you guys need. And once again, thank you very much, Elizabeth. It was a pleasure for us to open this space to share more about this great opportunity for the water community. We are also grateful to our entire network for joining us today. Okay, so I also would like to take this opportunity to mention that next Thursday, March 6th at 9 a.m. Peru time, we will have another webinar together with Flowen, an ALADYR member company, who will talk to us about the design of wastewater reuse treatment plants. So this webinar will be in Spanish, okay? So those interested in participating can register on our webinar section on the ALADYR website. Okay, so if nothing else, it is a wrap, and thank you for your participation. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.